Hey guys, so today I'm going to do a video talking about my experience of dating someone who has a kid. A lot of you guys know that I've been dating Kevin for a couple years now, and he has a little girl, Ava, who's 6 years old, and I've been posting photos of her on Instagram like throughout the years, and a lot of you guys were wondering if that was like his sister or if he had a kid or if I had her. I know when I started dating him and I knew that he had a kid, I had a lot of questions and I wanted to hear other people's experiences of dating someone who has a child, and so I looked it up a lot and read different posts and stuff about it, but I wanted to make like a video to talk about it because I know it was super helpful hearing other people's experiences, and a lot of you guys had a lot of questions, so I just wanted to answer your guys' questions as best as I can. So I'm just gonna give you guys like a little bit of like background information, when I met her and different things like that, and then I'll answer your guys' Instagram questions. A lot of people were interested in knowing what our age difference is since he does have a child. So we're 6 years apart. I'm 22 and he's 28. To me, that's not like super big because my parents are also 6 years apart, so that was always like a normal amount to me, something I was like used to seeing. And that's different for other people. Some people have parents who have like a 10-year age gap or who are the same age, so it's kind of like whatever you see is what you're comfortable with. I met him when I was 18, late 18. I turned 19 like a few months into dating him. And he was 24 and he turned 25 a few months into dating because our birthday's actually only like 2 days apart. I didn't meet Ava until 10 months after we were dating. I think that that's super important. You know, you have to make sure that you two work well together and without, you know, involving the kid in everything, because, you know, once you get close with them and you break up or something happens, it's really hard on the child. So I really wanted to wait a few months and make sure that, you know, our relationship was good and it was something that I wanted to like pursue long term. So yeah, we waited 10 months. We started dating in January and I met her in October, like middle of October. And when I first met her, he just introduced me as his friend and not as his girlfriend. So she just kind of thought of me as his friend, and then we weren't like very coupley and showed a lot of affection around her at first, but we slowly started easing into it, which I think is really helpful too. You know, you don't want to all of a sudden just be like kissing and like, you know, holding hands all the time. Our main thing was that she felt that I was mostly there for her and I was there to like be her friend and have fun with her, so she would feel comfortable with all of us being together. You know, she wouldn't feel like jealous or like I was taking time away from her, and I think that that was really helpful in our relationship. I wasn't like a strict parent figure all of a sudden. We never really told her I was his girlfriend. She kind of just figured it out as we went, started showing more affection towards each other, and she just kind of picked up on the fact that we were boyfriend and girlfriend. So yeah, that was when I met her. She was 3 years old when I met her, and now she's 6, so I've known her for half of her life, which is crazy to think about. That's kind of just the background, and now I'll answer you guys' questions. You had a lot of questions, and I think they go into some really good information, so I'm gonna answer you guys' questions now. A lot of people wanted to know how did I get my parents' approval of dating someone older and dating someone who had a child? That's definitely a tricky one. I will say my parents were not thrilled when they found out I was dating someone who had a child. And it wasn't something that they ever thought would happen, because I didn't even think that I would ever end up dating someone who has a child, because I was super young and I didn't think like anybody around my age would have a child. Kevin had Ava really young. He was 21. They knew when I was talking to him that he had a kid, and they definitely, you know, weren't very excited about it. It took a while for them to warm up and get used to it, but I told them that, you know, I really loved Kevin. I also really loved his daughter after, you know, I met her. I told them I really liked her and just kept telling them that even when they expressed their concerns. And I think now that they like seen the relationship develop and we've been together for a few years, they've definitely become more accepting of it, and they actually even just met Ava for Thanksgiving. So she came over here and met them all, and you know, they loved her. They love kids. It was just more of the idea of like, you want what's best for your kid, and I don't think like a parent immediately thinks, oh, someone with a kid is best for my child. But if the relationship is good and they see that and they see that you're happy, love each other, then I think they'll become definitely more accepting of it. sometimes they won't, and I always thought that, you know, my relationship is my relationship. Of course I care about everybody else's opinion as well, you know, my family's opinion, but at the end of the day, you're the one in the relationship. So if you're happy, you know, they might bring up concerns like, oh, you're not going to be the first one in their lives, you're going to be second. They're definitely going to bring up like valid points and, you know, if you accept that, you're comfortable with that. I decided that I was okay with that for myself. At the end of the day, just remember, you're the one in the relationship, so if you're okay with everything and, you know, you're happy, then that's all that really matters. The next question is, how do you find the perfect balance between caring about your boyfriend's daughter and not crossing any boundaries from the mom's perspective, like respecting her rules? So I think Kevin and Ava's mom have very similar rules. I agree with most of their rules. There are some things, like I guess maybe getting her hair curled or things like that, that sometimes I don't always agree with those rules, but you know, at the end of the day, I am not Ava's mom and dad. I'm just, you know, kind of like her little bonus stepmom. So I know I have to respect what her mom's rules are. So like for her birthday, I wanted to curl her hair. So I texted her mom and I was just like, oh, is it okay if I curl her hair? And she was like, yeah, that's totally fine. I really appreciate that you wanted to curl her hair for her birthday, for a special day, you know? So if there's anything that I don't know, then, you know, I'll like either text her mom or Kevin will text her mom and ask her on my behalf. I try to think, if I was her mom, how would I want to be treated? I think that that's the most important way to approach things, is to be like, okay, well, if I was in that situation, would I want this person to ask me if that's okay? I think that that's the most important thing, is to just put yourself in the other person's shoes. And then someone asked, have you met the mom? Is everyone on good terms? So yeah, I've met her. Everyone's on good terms, and I'll see her once in a while when we're at something like Ava's soccer game, or, you know, at something that Ava wants everyone to be there for. I think we're all like respectful of one another, and we all want what's best for Ava, so we're all gonna like show up and do what's best for Ava. This other question is, how long did it take you to love his kid the same way you love him? It didn't take very long for me to feel like I loved her. I loved her like really quickly, and she's just the cutest and the smartest little girl ever, and we definitely have like a really good close relationship. So yeah, it didn't take very long for me to fall in love with her. And then this one says, did you or Kevin have any concerns when you started dating because he has a child? If so, what were they? And then how did you react to him having a child? I think the only concern Kevin had on his hand was if I was serious about the relationship. Obviously, if I'd be, you know, someone that Ava wants hanging around her. My like main concern was if Ava liked me, if Ava would like me or not. You never know. Sometimes, you know, it takes kids a while to warm up to you. I was really worried that she wouldn't like me, or there's all these movies about like the evil stepmom, so I was worried that she would see me as that. That was kind of like my concern, was if she would like me or not. And I think Kevin's concern was mainly like if I was gonna stick around and be a good role model for Ava. And then how did you react to him having a child? So I already knew he had a child when we first started dating. It wasn't something that he just like sprung up on me like, oh, by the way, I have a kid. He was friends with some of my friends, so I already knew about him. I didn't really think much of it when we first started talking, because I didn't know how serious this relationship would be or where it would go. But the more we started hanging out and the more I loved spending time with him, the more I was thinking about that he does have a kid. That's it. I didn't really have such a big reaction. So someone said, I also date someone who has a daughter and her mom is very difficult and causes a lot of drama, which then impacts my partner's mood and our relationship. Not all the time, sometimes. Do you have any similar issues, and how do you deal with them, or how would you deal with them if not? I mean, I think this happens with everybody. Like sometimes the mom and dad will fight, just like any parent would fight even if they're together. I think Kevin does a really good job of compartmentalizing, like this argument is happening with, you know, her, and it's not happening with my girlfriend, so I'm not gonna try to focus all that negative energy on Alex. He'll like take a step back from their conversation or whatever they're trying to figure out, and we'll talk about it. I don't always try to be on his side. I try to put things better into perspective for him too, from like the mom's side. If I see that he's in a bad mood, he either wants to talk about it or he kind of just wants to, you know, think about it. So I'll kind of like give him his space. but I think he already does a good job of not turning that anger towards me and thinking this is something that's happening over here. I'm not gonna like let it affect my relationship. Just like any other fight or any other bad thing that would happen in someone's day impacts their mood, that can happen too. Just give them their space, let them talk about it if they need to, and don't take it personally. It's never about you and it's never your fault. So just, you know, maybe talk to them about it. If it happens like regularly, you could be like, look, I need you to really compartmentalize your feelings that are happening over there and keep them away from our relationship, because this isn't an argument you're having with me and I know that it's putting you in a bad mood. If you need your space, then you can let me know, but you know, I don't think you should take it out on me because you can't take it out on that person or whatever. So, you know, maybe talk to them about it. Another question is how to become close with the children. So I think this varies on every relationship, obviously, with a child, but I think something that really helped was that I was mainly like the fun one when I first met Ava, and the first 2 years really. I don't think it's only been like in the last year that I've kind of been a little bit more strict, I guess not strict, but been more of like a parent figure instead of like a friend figure, you know? I think at first it's better to be the fun one, the one who says yes to everything under certain limits, of course. You don't want to say yes to everything. Or you could always be like, oh, I need to ask your dad, or I don't think your dad would like that. Sometimes it's better to just displace that when you first start off. But and Kevin was totally okay with that, so that's definitely something you should talk to like your partner about. He was like, you know, I definitely want you to have a good relationship with her and be fun at first, and then we can slowly incorporate more of like parenting things. So I think that that's a good way to start, is to kind of slowly start being more of a parent figure. Okay, so the next question is a really good question. It says, I'd like to know whether it was hard at first adjusting to dating someone who might not always have that much time since he has kids. That's definitely a really big concern. I think probably like the biggest concern about dating someone who has kids is, you know, whether you're gonna have like a lot of time with him or her, depending on if you're dating a mom or a dad. And the fact that you're always gonna be second, kind of. The kid is always gonna be like their first priority, as it should be, and then, you know, you're gonna be like their second priority. So it was definitely hard to get used to, especially, you know, when you're younger, when you don't have kids yourself, you are expecting it to be just like every other relationship where you come first all the time. And I mean, that's not always the case. Sometimes, you know, people's like school will come first, their career will come first, you know, in that moment of time. So I think even though everyone thinks like that they should be first, I think, you know, especially when you're younger, like in your 20s and you're focusing on your career, I don't think you always end up being first anyways. But when you're dating someone who has a kid, you're definitely not going to be first. I think that's something that you have to talk to yourself about and think if that's something you're going to be okay with, because there's definitely a lot of people who are not going to be okay with it, and that's totally fine. There's things that come up when you have kids. So you have to understand that your kid is gonna come first. If something comes up, they're gonna have to kind of put you on the back burner, so to say. That being said though, I think a lot of it has to do with your partner as well and how you communicate your feelings with them. So for example, it's really hard now that we're doing long distance to have time to ourselves. I go there to spend time with my boyfriend, but I also go there to spend time with his daughter. I probably go there to spend more time with his daughter because I could probably spend more time away from him. But you know, with her, she's always asking like when I'm gonna come back and when I'm gonna see her. So when I go there, we are usually with her. He has her like half of the week, and it's usually mostly during like the weekend, and then the half end of the week. He has her like most of the time when I'm there, so we definitely don't get as much time together when I'm there. So I like talk to him about that. I love spending time with her, but of course you want to have like your own time, and that happens when you're a parent and when you're both the parent too. You have like date nights and want to, you know, get away and spend some time together as well. So he'll come here like once a month and spend half a week with me, and I feel like we get that time together and we kind of get to go on our dates, spend time together, have fun, just us two. And I really feel like he puts me first during that time. And then you know, on the weekends, I know I'm mostly gonna be there for Ava and I'm gonna be spending time with her. You definitely need to keep in mind that you're not gonna be the first priority, but your partner should also try to make you feel, at least when they don't have the child, or when, you know, when the child's with the other parent, they should at least, you know, make you feel that you are important and like they want to spend time with you and just you. So I think that definitely, you know, it has to do with your own mindset, but also if your partner is willing to do that for you as well. And then the next part of the question was if you sometimes feel like your boyfriend's daughter's mom. Like if you have a say in things concerning her, or if you'd even want to have a say in how she's brought up. I never feel like I'm her mom or like I need to be her mom. She has a great mom. Spends a lot of time with her. She has like implements good rules. I don't think I need to be her mom. Sometimes I do want to like implement things. I got used to always sitting down at the dinner table and eating dinner with my family, and Kevin mostly watches TV with her while they're eating. So I do mention, I think tonight we should like all eat dinner at the table like a family and turn off the TV and just talk about our days and stuff. So if it's something like that, Kevin's definitely like receptive to it. But yeah, I never feel like I have to be her mom or anything. And then the last question was, do you consider yourself a stepmom? I think right now I don't really, because it's really hard when I'm in a long distance relationship. I'm not really there for a lot of the things. I feel really bad that I can't be around more. But I know this is the case even for like regular parents who are in medical school. They can't always be around for their kids. I try to be there as much as I can. I go see her a lot. I go see her like every 2 weeks. It's mainly so I can be like a part of her life and be there for these things. But obviously like during the weekdays, I can't be there for like little things like her gymnastics. If I am there during the week, I'll always go because I get really excited that I can go. I think I'm a huge part of her life already. I always FaceTime her when she's with Kevin and we're always talking, but I'm definitely like not always there like I'd want to be. That's it for the video. I hope you guys found this helpful, and if you are thinking about getting into a relationship with someone with a kid, just keep all those things that I said in mind. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.